The Houston Cougars could have played their football game at Texas San Antonio on Saturday. Instead they chose to postpone it, deciding there were things much more important than football this week, with Houston besieged by catastrophic flooding from Hurricane Harvey. "We felt like it wasn't the right thing to do in terms of where our city is," Houston coach Major Applewhite said. "Sports are important and sports are fun and it's entertainment, but with casualties in our city and the state of mind of our players and our players' families, it's not the right thing to do, to play a game." Officials said they would explore options for rescheduling the game. The Texans are playing their home preseason game on the road against the Dallas Cowboys. The Rice football team has not been home in days, holed up in Fort Worth on the Texas Christian campus after a game in Sydney, Australia, over the weekend. Stafford gets NFL's richest deal. Matthew Stafford has more time and money to accomplish what the Detroit Lions drafted him to do. The Lions gave Stafford, their standout quarterback, a 5-year extension worth $135 million, keeping him under contract through 2022. The franchise desperately hopes he can return the investment and help it finally achieve playoff success. Stafford's contract surpassed what was, briefly, the richest deal in the league. Derek Carr signed a $125 million, 5-year deal earlier this summer with the Oakland Raiders. Redskins lose Taylor for season. Washington Redskins defensive tackle Phil Taylor is out for the season after tearing his left quadriceps tendon. After injuries derailed his career with the Cleveland Browns, Taylor, a 2011 first-round pick, was a good bet to make the Redskins roster almost 3 years since he last played a regular season game. Raiders top pick practices. The Oakland Raiders first-round pick, cornerback Gareon Conley, passed his physical and has been taken off the physically unable to perform list. Conley took part in practice for the first time since injuring his shin during minicamp June 13. Colts cornerback is hobbled. The two-time Indianapolis Colts Pro Bowl cornerback Vontae Davis is listed as week to week after coach Chuck Pagano said a pretty significant groin injury was diagnosed. Giants waive defensive end. The Giants waived the third-year defensive end Owodaijua a day after the NFL suspended him for the first 4 games of the regular season for violating the league's policy on performance-enhancing substances. Monaco, the defending League One champion, signed forwards Stevan Jovetic from Inter Milan and Keita Balde from Lazio, preempting the anticipated departure of Kylian Mbappé to Paris Saint-Germain. PSG is reportedly close to sealing a loan move for Mbappé, with an option to acquire the 18-year-old for €180 million, $216 million, next season. P.S.G. is not in a position to land Mbappé right now. It signed Neymar from Barcelona this month for a world record €222 million, $262 million, and is restricted by rules designed to curtail excessive spending by clubs each season. Balde, 22, who plays for Senegal, scored 16 goals for Lazio in Serie A last season and has signed a 5-year deal. Jovetic, 27, signed a 4-year deal. Saudi Arabia loses Cup qualifier. Saudi Arabia's hopes of automatic qualification for the 2018 World Cup were hit by a 2-1 loss to the host United Arab Emirates in an Asian Group B game. Saudi Arabia is second in Group B, but Australia has a game in hand and is behind on goal difference only. Galaxy add former San Jose coach. The struggling Los Angeles Galaxy have hired the former San Jose coach Dominic Kinnear as an assistant to Siggy Schmidt. Kinnear is one of 4 coaches to win multiple MLS Cup titles, leading the Houston Dynamo to championships in 2006 and 2007. He was fired in June by the Earthquakes, who were 27-31-27 during his tenure. The Galaxy, 6-14-5, are winless in their first 5 games under Schmidt, the winningest coach in MLS history. Chris Froome kept his Vuelta a España lead by avoiding trouble in the difficult final descent of Stage 10, which was won by Matteo Trentin. It was the second stage victory for Trentin, an Italian, who outsprinted the Spaniard José Joaquín Rojas at the end of the 164.8-kilometre, 102.4-mile, ride from Caravaca de la Cruz to Alhama de Murcia in southeastern Spain. Froome, the Tour de France winner, finished 24th in the stage but stayed 36 seconds ahead of Esteban Chavez of Colombia and Nicolas Roche of Ireland, his closest challengers in the overall standings. Royals pitcher Danny Duffy has been cited on suspicion of driving under the influence in suburban Kansas City last weekend, another headache for a team struggling on the field. Duffy had left the team's trip to return to Kansas City for a magnetic resonance imaging test on his ailing left elbow. Duffy is one of the organization's most popular players, not only for his on-field production but his work eye.